going on YouTube? Cars and Kicks. So, it's been a while, but I'm still filming off the Galaxy. It's whatever. It's a good camera. Today, I'm going to talk about my 2020 Subaru WRX a little bit, and how I finally an access port in it and tuned it. I'm just going to talk about like the drivability, the effects of what the tune did. Wow, she's filthy. Forgive that. So yeah, just kind of running through a couple little things about the access port. I'm new to it, so I'll do my best, but just kind of gonna go over like the stock tune compared to the I'm running the Stage 193 V400 tune. No intake. It's not the big SF intake tune or anything like that, so it's just the basic 93 map. So yeah, I got that. All I have is a muffler delete with 4-inch tips. I gotta clean them pretty bad. I got the OEM vortex generator, the rain guards, blah. But anyway, so basically the stock tune they give you from Subaru, everyone kind of knows, is not the best. It's peppy. It's good for daily driving. You know, it's good for daily driving, that kind of thing. But it spools up very fast. You know, with the twin scroll turbo, it spools up about 2,000 RPMs, 2,500, and it punches you. You know, it gets you going. But as soon as you hit about 440, 200 RPMs, it just completely falls on its face. And this car says it does like 20. I've hit 22 pounds on the stock map, and I think that's insanely high. I mean, it can do it, but you guys get what I'm saying, that it's just a lot of boost. Stock to just jam into that early RPM range and then have it die off. That's why it dies off. They just push so much boost in that RPM range, and they have to meet EPA regulations and all that dumb shit. And now we have green speed, so that's even better. But let's get into the AP aspect of things. So, as you guys know, all I did was, obviously, like every other Subaru guy, hooked it up to his laptop, got the Access Tuner app, and, you know, freed up the access port, had it married to my car. And as I was doing this, actually, it's funny, a big storm hit, and we had a little tornado that cut the power out while the access port was being freed up, so that was kind of annoying. But it had reached the point to where I could unplug it from the laptop, hook it up in my car, and load a map onto it. So yeah, the stock tune is not good. Now these cars stock will do 0-60 in like 5.2 to 5.5 seconds. It's definitely doable, but again, as soon as you put the access port on, it's a different car. At first, and it's funny, as soon as you start it up, it doesn't really sound any different. Obviously, it's, you know, it's unless you have added another part onto your car and then did a tune, that's gonna could sound a little different. But like my car didn't sound any differently. It just has the muffler delete and whatnot. But I'll tell you, as soon as I backed out of the driveway, I felt the difference in my throttle response. It was much more responsive, but it wasn't, you know, spooling the turbo up really fast. It was more regulated. It felt like the car wasn't just pushing so much power so fast, and it felt more sturdier. It felt more sturdy. And then, you know, you get driving, or when I got driving, I took it right out of my driveway. Got some nice back roads out there. And I was, you know, punching it. And on the stock map, you can build a good amount of boost, you know, 50, 60% throttle. You can build 15, 16, 17, 18 pounds I've done. And with this map, I didn't pay attention to the boost gauge at first. I was just trying to like feel the car for what it was doing. And I got into boost, which I thought was actually full throttle. And I was like, oh wow, yeah, it's good. It feels good. It's definitely like, it's alright. You know, at first I was like, it's okay. But then I looked at the access port and I read like 9 pounds. I'm like, what? So, but what I was not doing is not understanding is like the tune pushes the turbo like the boost further down the red line, and you actually have to use like the throttle. So like the stock map, you could get a good amount of boost at 50 to 60% throttle, and with this map, it regulates it more to where you come up like 3K, 3200, and then it starts spooling up, but you actually have to put your foot down to get the boost out of it. So, it's not bad. You still can get like 14, 15 pounds if you're, 70% throttle, but like you're 85, 90% throttle, then you're seeing, 19 pounds, 20 pounds. And the boost is also more regulated. It doesn't peak out at like 22 pounds anymore. I feel like 20.9. Not bad. God, I love the car. They look really good, man. This is my first SUV. And I've driven quite a few WRXs. I've driven like an 04, 03, two 04s actually. A stock 2017 FA. And they're nice. I've never actually driven an STI though, unfortunately. So, but to be fair, I think this is a better platform overall, dailying wise and like power wise. You can do so much with them, and there's so much available. But anyway, it's a totally different car than a stock WRX. The Stage 1 map makes it what I think should have been from the factory, and the power on these is, I think they dyno about 220 to 230 wheel horsepower. Cobb's dyno with the Stage 1 tune is about 245 to 255 wheel, in that range. So you're picking up anywhere from the low end of 15 wheel horsepower to 25 wheel horsepower with this Stage 1 map. I think it's more or less the 2025 because the first time I did a pull in, and even now after the tune, it just pulls all the way to redline, and it feels really, really good, really, really responsive, really quick. It's definitely a much more fun car. It's way more drivable, I think. Like the stock map is really good for dailying, but this Stage 1 map makes it easier. The engine's not so spurty. The turbo's not so splurgy. It's not just trying to like push all that boost when you're hitting 2200 RPMs to trying to drive. It's not trying to rip the boost apart. So that's nice. I think Cobb did a good job with offering some good OTS maps. And OTS maps aren't bad if you are running literally the parts for the OTS maps. But if you're doing, say, a Stage 1 map and you have like an intake on, a J pipe on, and an axle back on, it's probably not going to run the best. You're probably going to get some knock. You're probably going to run a certain way to where the car's not going to be responding the way it should be, making the power it should be. You're probably going to end up with a CEL on a check engine light. So what I'm basically saying is, if the tune on Cobb says Stage 1 big SF intake, it is literally designed just to run that part. That's it. And if more people understood that, I think a lot of people would stop having issues with their Subarus on OTS maps. For example, one of my buddies that had a Stage 2 WRX, he sold it unfortunately. He was running a J-pipe and a big SF intake on a Stage 2 OTS map for 2 years, and the car never had a problem. Ever. So, the last question I'll address, is it a smart idea to put a tune on your WRX FA20? Yes. If you're looking for a little more power, but you don't really have like thousands of dollars to dump into the car, you kind of want it to stay reliable. I mean, don't get me wrong, these are reliable over 300 horsepower stock motor all day, but if you just want a simple Stage 1 tune, you don't like how the stock map drives, you want a little more daily drivability out of it, and you'll get like a gallon or two extra miles per gallon in your car. Said that wrong. Jesus. So, it has benefits, and again, it's not going to stress the car out. Just make sure you do your oil changes, and when they're needed, spark plugs on these. And use good oil. These don't like poopy oil, so don't go buying like a low-end brand and thinking it's good for it. Like, no. These motors need to be treated good. That's just how it is. These motors have to be treated good. FAs, EJs, any of the Subaru motors, you have to maintain them. Doesn't matter if it's stock, fucking big turbo built motor, Stage 3 IAG block, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Like, I'm doing my oil change tomorrow, if not tonight. Probably tomorrow, and I'm not even 4K miles into my last oil change, so yeah, I think overall it's a smart idea to put a Stage 1 map on your car. If you are not worried about it, and you can maintain your car safely, properly, I would do it. 10 out of 10. Way more fun car, way more power, way more effectiveness driving. As I said, you're taking this car from 225 to about 250 wheel horsepower, and a way more linear power band. That's what it's kind of honestly about to me. Is I can go past 4,000 and it just continually pulls. It doesn't have a problem with it. I don't go really over 5K though, honestly. Usually I just kind of baby it. But yeah, it's been fun, guys. Peace.